Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Torch Tales. Yes, you are right. One more guest, one more episode, and another episode here from beautiful Maui, Hawaii, where we are at the Grand Walea for the annual Gala 2023. Sorry, there's a lot of things to say when you're trying to remember what event you are, especially when you travel so much. One of the friends of the industry, someone that's been in this industry for a long time, and we're going to get to know him a little bit more. Carey Canup.
Yes.
I had to ask him a couple of times just so I can make sure that I would pronounce his name somewhat okay. Carey, thank you so much for saying yes. Appreciate you just taking a little bit of your time to help me in this weird idea that I have. Now, you shared before that you've watched a few of the episodes.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm honored that you're a fan. And now that you're here, it makes it even better. Full circle. Carey, before we talked about who you work for, what you do now, even though it's on the shirt, right?
Yeah,
plug. We are trying to understand and learn a little bit of the person before where they are now. So let's go back. How long have you been in the industry?
For probably basically 35 years.
35 years.
Yes.
And where is Carey Canup from?
I'm from a little town northwest part of Georgia called Powder Springs.
Okay.
Grew up in Powder Springs, Georgia.
So born and raised there? Are you still in that area, or are you?
I'm 30 minutes north of there in a little town called Dallas, Georgia now.
Gotcha. And where are your parents from?
They're from Powder Springs. Well, Mom was from Powder Springs area. My dad was from Clarksville, Georgia.
Gotcha. And were your parents into any industry close to what we do?
No.
Not at all.
Mom was a teacher.
All right.
My dad was a carpenter all
Gotcha.
his life, so no.
And do you have any siblings?
Yes, I got two brothers. One of them was a mechanic.
Okay.
Another one was an electrician all his life.
Gotcha. So how were you as a kid? What were you into?
Well, we was raised back then. It was out in the country, so we
Okay.
did lots of hunting, fishing. We didn't do sports.
Gotcha.
We was on like a 50-acre farm. We had a 7.5-acre lake, so you was always fishing or taking care of the gardens.
Very outdoorsy.
Yeah.
Never
stayed. They kicked you out at daylight and let you back in at night.
Yeah, good luck doing that with kids nowadays. All they want to do is just being in front of their games, computers, or phones, right?
Yes.
Now, as a kid, you are middle school, high school. Were you a good student? Were you like one of those hands-on kind of guy, mechanical guy that wanted to play with things, break them apart? Like, how were you as a kid in high school?
Yeah, I was always mechanical, and I started really in the early part of high school working with my older brother, doing electrical work because he was an electrician.
Gotcha.
And I always tend to like that field, and I did that field for a few years.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's while you were in high school?
Yeah, I started working with him probably on Saturdays and in the summer when I was even in middle school.
Really?
Helping him out doing residential and commercial electrical work.
Gotcha. And now you are 18, 19, leaving high school. What was your first job you had outside of your family, brother, helping him out, doing whatever? What came next in the professional experience of your life?
I went to work for a company, as soon as I got out of high school, with a company called Bass Electric in Woodstock, Georgia.
Okay.
I was doing residential and commercial electrical work. And I did that for probably about 5 or 6 years.
Now, was that because you felt comfortable? Like, there was something that you were kind of doing with your brother. I'm like, hey, I can kind of do this work. Or somebody said, hey, I have a kid here that knows how to do all that, and you got to give him a job.
No, actually, I always was comfortable with it. And the guy Bass Electric knew me. Pat Bass knew me, and he come to me before I got out of high school and said, hey, when you graduate, you got a job here. And I went to work for him right out of high school.
Got it. So 5 years in, now you are 22, 23,
Yeah.
something like that. What came next after that whole electrician part of your life?
I actually started, it's kind of funny how the electrical got me started kind of in this industry because I started learning electricity. Then I went to work for a company in Atlanta called Industrial Electric.
Okay.
Where we did Lincoln and Miller warranty repair.
Gotcha.
I was done the service truck for them for 18 years where we did Lincoln and Miller warranty. They rewound electric motors also, so we did motor control work. We worked on welding machines. Anything in the steel plant that was electrical, from overhead crane to the press brake to shears, we worked on it.
Wow, so that was your first exposed to at least somewhat. Anything welding.
Yes.
So there you are, breaking apart, fixing machines, fixing welders. Mm-hmm. And at that, how long were you with that company?
I was probably with that company, probably right around 18 years.
All right, that's a long time. And now here we are, 22, 23, 33, almost 40.
Yeah.
And did you go straight now to somewhat of the welding industry then, or not quite yet?
Yes, I did. I went to, it was kind of, it's real hilarious how I got a job in the welding industry. I was doing electrical service work for all the welding supply companies. We did them for all of them around the metro Atlanta area, worked for all of them. And I walked back into a Pye Barker Jonesboro store after I got done with a service call for them, let them know what's going on. And as I was walking out the door, they said the salesman in Marietta was leaving, and I just joked about the job. Never thought about.
So they were not even talking to you.
No,
you just heard the comment and you just had a crack at it.
I just joked at it.
Gotcha.
Never thought I'd be doing outside sales.
Okay.
I've always said I hated a salesman, and now here what I was going to do is
right.
So back then you had pagers, so nobody could call you on the phone.
I remember that. Yeah.
So I joked about the job, and it probably wasn't 30 minutes later, I got a pager from the guy who run Pye Barker. He was in North Carolina, Kenny Faulkner, and he called me and he said, are you serious about wanting to be a salesman in Marietta? And it caught me off guard because
of course
you joked about it.
Right?
And I said, yeah, I guess. And he said, well, I'm going to drive down and meet you in the morning. So,
wow, talk about desperate on one side and clueless on the other.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I had no idea. I went home that night joking about it. I told my wife, I said, well, I might be changing jobs. I joked about one
without even knowing.
So I met with him and took it and went into outside sales. I was there with Pye Barker, who was in the Atlanta area for years.
Okay.
Then it changed to Airstar.
Gotcha.
Then it changed to the Netzair Praxair group.
Yeah. Wow. So now when you are working for them doing sales, what were you actually selling? Like what gamma of products or what kind of products?
We was doing all the welding supplies, from the bottled gases to the welding wire to the...
Really?
Yeah, we had... Our location in Marietta was running 2 route trucks, and
gotcha.
You had the gases you sell, the wires, the regular customers, and you had to go pick up new customers too.
Wow. So there you go. So now you are in sales. Now you stumble into sales.
A surprise, stumbled in.
Right, you stumble into a joke or a comment, and here you are. Now doing sales for the welding industry. What would you say that was the biggest thing that surprised you? That you thought, wow, I would never thought of this industry this way, and now that I'm doing sales, I get it or don't get why we do certain things. Like, what was the one thing that that's weird, or that's awesome, either or?
I guess the big surprise with me is how well I was accepted into it. I worked on machines.
Yeah.
But everybody knew me from that working on machine time because I've been in that area doing service calls. I've been to them customers.
Got it.
So that went real well, and it was a big surprise. I was welcome in. It went good, and it was real easy for me to
transition
pick up
into
new customers because they knew me. I wasn't going in cold. They knew me.
That makes sense.
And landed some pretty big customers right off the bat just because I walked in, and you build good relationships with people over the years, working on their machines, selling their products. And
they know who you are.
Friends. They become your friends.
That's exactly how it works. And we always have these conversations in friends among the industry, when we have the same titles and we just happen to promote another company, but it's the same approach. It's the same conversations. So I exactly know what you're saying. Now, you're there as a sales guy, and was that locally just in Atlanta, Georgia, or was it just kind of centrally somewhere?
It was locally. It was just covering out of the Merritt location. We covered parts of Atlanta. We covered out all the way up to little towns, Cartersville and Douglasville.
Okay.
Pretty good footprint, but
Got it.
It was just in that area. Was another reason that helped me. I grew up in that area. That was the area. I lived there all my life.
That comes very handy. Some of us, when they hand you a territory and you go, hey, you're going to take care of half the U.S. and Canada or another country, you're like, awesome, great. Sure, I'll figure things out.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. And after working for a independent distributor, let's call them that way, what came next after that? Yeah.
Well, I went to another distributor because there was some changes at that one. I was actually at two other ones after that one before I got where I'm at now.
Okay.
I went to Westco that in Rome, not the Westco in Alabama, but there's a Westco in Rome. I went with them for about 6 years.
Okay.
Then there was some changes I think fixing going there, and I had the opportunity to scratch start a store for gas and supply.
Oh, okay.
And I scratch started one in Ackworth, me and another guy did, which was fun.
Yeah.
Because you got to do everything.
Yeah, it gives you another perspective. You can see from the ground up, literally.
Yeah, we did everything for hanging the slat board on the walls to getting everything ready for the bill. I mean, it was that hands-on.
Gotcha.
You did everything. So we got that going, and like I said, I was with Westco for a while, then I was with Gas and Supply.
Got it.
And that's my distributor thing.
All righty, and now the company you're with, who are you with again?
Chemweld.
Chemweld. Now, tell me, how did you start with them before I ask you what are they, what do they do, and what do you do for them?
Well, I started with them. I knew Gary, the founder, for years.
Okay.
Linda runs it now. But
just been exposed to the industry and doing your thing. Yeah.
I sold their product.
Okay.
I sold it when I was with Pi Barker. I sold it when I was with Westco.
So that helps knowing.
I knew the product, and so it was a few years back. I think going on 5 now. On April Fool's Day, I won't never forget it. Linda sent me a link in and asked me if I would be interested in the position as national account manager. And I responded, went to meet with her 2 days later.
Got it. And how long have you been with the company now?
April will be 5 years.
5 years. Now tell me, what do they do?
Well, we make an alternative fuel gas.
Okay. What does that mean? And the reason most of the people that will be watching this know exactly what it is, what it means. Mm-hmm. But if there's a few out there that might not know, this is why I really want to break down what it is. So what is alternative fuel? What is that? What are you talking about?
Alternative fuel gas, lots of people can use acetylene to cut wood torch, which you know all about torches.
Yeah.
Alternative fuel gas is a safer way, a better way. We are actually can outcut acetylene. A cleaner cut, a faster cut, and it's a safer product, more stable product.
Gotcha.
And especially now with supply chain issues with acetylene getting like they are, and acetylene prices going sky high, our alternative fuels are making a stronger hope. You still have to change the old timers, don't want to change, but we're changing more and more every day and going good.
So how does it work? I'm a distributor. I have my acetylene bottles. That's what I've done for 20, 30 years. And you come in and you offer me this better solution. Mm-hmm. How can I understand what that solution is and how I'm really going to benefit from it, aside from what you said, that it cuts clean air, outperforms acetylene, but how can you sell it to someone that it's, again, old school?
Yeah, the best way we have to do it is I travel like you do all over the U.S.
Yep.
And we try to really train the welding supply salesmen to know the difference and let them see the difference.
Got it.
And I go do demos with them.
Okay.
I found out the best way to change the mold timers when I'm doing a demo is not me cut, but just light the torch for them and hand it to them and say, here, try it. And they normally amazed when they cut with it. They just can't believe how much better and how much cleaner and how much faster. Or if they cut in their slow speed like they normally do.
Yeah, right.
I said, speed up a little bit. You don't tell them to speed up.
Yeah.
They're amazed with it. That's the easiest way. You can tell people everything in the world,
right.
but till you put it in their hands and let them see the difference,
That's
what you got to do. You got to show it. And we do lots of demos. We try to train, like I said, all the different welding supply companies, their salesmen on it, and get them familiar how to use it so they can. And it's an easy project for the welding supplies to handle and feel and do.
So what do I have to do? Like, do I have to change something in my setup to now carry the alternative fuel? Like what happens? What changes do I have to do in my operation so I can carry your gas?
Well, no, our gas is an additive that goes in the propane.
Okay, got it.
What increases the BTU. So most of them are
Already
propane.
Got it.
We have different ways to do it. We got where you can fill a bulk tank.
Okay.
And they can pump out of it just like they do
Correct.
propane in their cylinders. They pump it the same way. We can fill bulk tanks out at customers for cutting tables that's piped in.
Gotcha.
If they don't have a way to get their propane or their tanks, we got contracts with companies we can't.
Okay. All right.
So we do either both of that. We can either let them supply their own propane, or we can supply the propane and have the propane companies mix it for them, so it comes already mixed.
Gotcha. So you guys have almost a turnkey kind of thing for whatever version of how they handle propane, if that was the case.
Yeah, we try to make it easiest. I think we are the easiest alternative fuel to use.
Yeah.
If they don't want to do bulk tanks and they want to start out slow, we even got single cylinder injectors.
Gotcha.
Where they can put our additive in this injector, hook it to the tank, and pump it in.
Nice.
They can do one tank at a time, or they can do a bulk tank. And we try to make it easier for them.
Of course, yeah.
Because if it ain't easy, they don't want to mess with it.
It's already a change to begin with.
Yes.
And definitely if there's a lot of friction or restrictions to start, you know how it is. It sells and you gotta kind of make it dummy proof to make sure that it's...
and you got to be there to train them. You got to be
that
there.
That is so true.
And you got to follow up on them. Like,
correct.
We're here 6 hours behind our time, being here in Hawaii. Well,
which sucks, by the way.
It's a hard life, ain't it?
I'm telling you, you guys have no idea. In fact, don't try this.
No. But you on the phone at 3:30 in the morning over here, because the customers don't know where you're at.
Nope, and they don't care.
They don't care either. So that's why we kind of both look like we're dragging probably today.
I know. I'm with you. Now, how much travel do you do?
I'm probably doing close to 70,000 miles a year.
Alrighty, and
all over the U.S. Lots of driving because hauling the gas and the torches to do the demo. You got to have all the equipment. So 99% of mine's driving.
Really?
Yes.
And were you traveling before with the other companies that you used to work?
No, just local. So this was a total change.
So that's why I asked.
And I love it.
Really?
I mean, growing up, I never been nowhere traveled much. So I really took this job, except for the surrounding states of Georgia.
100-mile perimeter.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So now I'm going all over the U.S. and seeing different people, and you meet such. You know how it is.
I know.
You meet such good people no matter where you go, and it's fun. It is neat.
That's my take on the industry. If nothing else comes out of it, it's the relationships, what you get to see, the places you go and experience. And this is part of the reason for this show. For anyone that wants to get into the welding industry, where sometimes it's all, well, I don't want to be a welder. I don't want to be lighting up a torch or a gun. There's so many avenues you can take and still call yourself, I'm in the welding industry. And look at Carey, look at me, and 1,000 other positions and career and still let you be in it.
Yeah, and we get to meet everybody at shows like this,
Yep.
or little shows like we did in Tampa.
Correct, yeah.
That we get to see people and visit where people that
Where
do
they
the same
are.
thing we do in a way, and
Yep.
talk to them. And just like 2 weeks ago, I was working with another guy doing some demos in this area up in Pennsylvania, and it's kind of neat that you can
do that.
Work with somebody else in this area. Most of the time you by yourself, but you know how it is. But sometimes you get to move around and come to these shows and see people, and it's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. And you mentioned before, you mentioned your wife. So you're married?
Yes.
And how long have you been married?
35 years.
35 years. Wow. So you almost got married almost at the same time you were starting into the industry.
Yes,
right?
Yes, sure did.
So she have seen the changes, the progress. How did she get used to the traveling? Because I mean, you went from almost not doing much to now doing all these travels. Is she now the happiest wife ever? Because
probably is. Probably is. No, I think she realized I enjoy it.
Gotcha.
And it's a better job. It's not as stressful as outside sales and dealing with customers that way. In the
Correct. Yeah. In the daily routine.
She knows it's probably better for me.
Yeah.
And I just enjoy it. I mean, and she sees that. And it's nice that, getting older, it's nice the last few working years you do something you really enjoy.
Well said, brother. And so who are you when you are home? You're not traveling, you're not driving, you're not lighting up a torch, What do you do to decompress and just chill once you are back home?
Well, just do stuff around the house and just family time. Spend time with the family. I do have a daughter that's 33.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And spend time with them, and that's main, because when you're gone through the week, you need to come back to that
and give them that quality. So what's your wife's name?
Becky.
Becky. And your daughter's name?
Jessica.
Jessica. All right. And is she nearby as well, or your daughter?
Yeah, she's not married and still
okay.
living at home.
Cool. Hey, at least she's around. And so you get to see her all the time. So that's awesome. Now, going back to your youth, you said that you were into fishing and hunting and all of that stuff. Do you still do any of that?
No, not much. I don't know why. I guess I did it so much growing up. That's always, you got to figure, there wasn't nothing else to do in Powder Springs, Georgia in the late 70s, early 80s, but fish.
You got to do what your surroundings allow you to do.
Yeah, we didn't have video games. We didn't have nothing like that. And so that's all to do. So I guess, and I did it for a few years. I guess when I got older, I just did it so much that I don't do it anymore.
Now, you mentioned Linda.
Yes.
Earlier, that now she runs the company.
Yes.
Right, and before that it was
her dad.
Her dad, which you knew before as
well.
Oh
yes, I knew him back when I started in this industry.
And now Linda running the company. It's anybody else involved from that family, or Linda? It's the only one involved right now.
Linda's sister, one of her sisters, works there. Okay. So I mean, it's from the family. It's just Linda and her sister.
Gotcha. And where are you guys based out of?
South Berkeley Lake.
You're gonna have to give me more than that.
Norcross area.
Thank you.
Norcross.
You could have just said that, Carey.
Yeah. It's Berkeley Lake. It's a new. They just changed it to Berkeley Lake.
Really?
Not too long ago.
Okay, because you guys used to be somewhere else, and you guys moved not too long ago, or
no,
or maybe
we've been in the same place for quite a few years.
Oh, really?
I mean, it was years ago. They had a cylinder retest facility in Orlando, but they don't have that no more.
Got it. And does Linda do a lot of travel as you do, or she just goes to the main shows like this one?
She does some traveling every now and then, mainly the main shows. A couple of weeks ago, I had to be at one appointment, and somebody else needed another one, so she had to fly up to do that one.
Got it.
And it was just a sales meeting.
Yeah.
So there wasn't no hands-on stuff.
Got it.
She had to. We was probably 100 miles away from each other, but long ways from home.
Well, and you guys have a great relationship. You've shared that before. You know that it's awesome to work for someone like her.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to hear that. And that was a long time ago. He said that it wasn't because of the camera. So you guys can see that he really meant that. Because back then I was not even thinking when he made that comment to me. I don't think I had started Torch Tales yet. So I just wanted to say that out loud. And one of the reasons why I also said and mentioned Linda is because at some point I would love to have Linda also have a conversation with me and you guys out there to share her story and her side of the story. So Carey's going to help me
I'll help you.
land that one.
We get involved.
Carey, where do you see, and we're wrapping up here, where do you see our industry, or where would you hope to see the industry in the next 5-10 years?
I think there's going to be lots of changes from everything. See, I look at this industry, I see the changes from, worked on welding equipment for years. I look at the changes in it.
Yeah.
I see from the days I worked on them to inverter technology and everything now, the technology of welding equipment it's amazing how much it's moved. That's going to keep on changing. I think you're going to see in our industry, alternative fuel gases, I think you're going to see more and more of that.
Yep.
With the extra regulations on acetylene and how hard it's been to get and how unsafe it is, I think in our numbers show we are growing regular, and it's
so it shows proof of what's to come.
I mean, will we ever see it gone in our lifetime? Probably not, but you're going to see more and more. We're starting in the schools. The schools is training the kids on it, in their welding classes. We're getting real big in schools.
I think it's definitely coming back for whatever reason. And there's a lot of different things that have helped the welding industry in the last 5 years, but definitely a lot more schools are opening the programs again. So that's nice to see for the succession plans of the industry as a whole. Yeah, and like I tell anyone, I'm only 12 years into the company. Someone like you, 35 years in, that have seen so much and been exposed to many different sides of the industry. I always thank them, and I thank you as well, because people like you start paving and keep this industry running. So all of us, with less summers than you guys, benefit from guys like you that have paved these ways. So I thank you for not only saying yes to Torch Tales, but also for being a good person. Because everywhere I see you, you come in, we shake hands, we just talk a little bit of what's going on, and it's nice and refreshing to see familiar faces out there when you're traveling. So I really enjoy that.
Well, it's nice seeing, like I said, at these shows, what I call friends that we do shows occasionally together. At these gala events or any other events that we do, it's nice to have people that you know and friendly faces when you go to the show.
For sure.
And there's sometimes, might need your help with a question or something, call. And that works good. It works really
That's how relationships work, and that's how they should work.
Yes.
Well, brother, thank you so much for allowing me to spend 35 minutes of your time.
Oh, it's my pleasure being here. I enjoyed it.
All right. And we have a fan, and now we have a guest.
Yeah.
That's how it works, guys.
Might be the only fan, but
who cares? I'm watching, he's watching. That's two. That's more than one. So I'll take that any day. Guys, thank you for watching Torch Tales. I hope you guys are liking the content. And again, I'm honored to talk to people in the industry about their path. And I'll keep doing this as long as I keep getting yeses from people like Carey. Okay. So, guys, I'll see you somewhere else with somebody else. Torch Tales out.